Hey, ladies. Today's conversation is all about mental health. We are going to put ourselves on the clock for 60 seconds, give people a chance to come in. Sorry, 90 seconds, give people a chance to come in. And then I'm going to come back. While you are doing that, waiting for me, just hit the like button for me. And let's put the 90-second clock on. Here we go. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. We are the home of the upwardly mobile Black woman. For exclusive content and invitations to our Inner Circle Zoom meetings, which happen on a monthly basis, you can sign up for free for our email newsletter at bwmakingmoney.com. That's bwmakingmoney.com. Hey, ladies. Welcome to today's discussion. This evening's discussion might not even be too long here. I wanted to talk a little bit about mental health, just because about a month ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, I had asked the community what you all wanted to talk about for one of our Sunday Zooms, and so many people overwhelmingly said mental health. And there's just so much happening right now that I think that we just need to have a reset in the Black Women Making Money stratosphere. I do want to remind people, though, before we go further, that our Rich AF discussion is going to be on Sunday, this coming Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. This coming Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time is going to be our Rich AF discussion. No, Vivian will not personally be here, but we are going to talk about her $25 million secret wealth plan, some of the things that she talks about, and how we can do those things in our lives. So how do you get an invitation? You need to be on my email list, bwmakingmoney.com, bwmakingmoney.com. We'll send out the Zoom link on Sunday for everybody who wants to participate in that. So this I want to talk about a little bit today because I had two very interesting and different conversations today. Most of you know I am a mortgage loan officer, and the real estate market has been tough over the past 2.5 years since the interest rates have been up. It's been so tough that over 60%, 61% actually, of mortgage loan officers, we have to be licensed. The licensed loan officers have left the business since last year to this year because our licenses have to be renewed in December of every year. And I had two interesting phone calls today. One of them was from a gentleman. Actually, the first one that I had was from a gentleman who started around the time that I did, so the earlier part of last year. And he's had a really tough time. He's had a really tough time breaking into the industry, breaking into the good old boys network, things like that. And we were having a conversation with regards to the things that he's been doing um, and his struggles. And then this afternoon, I have another phone call with another loan officer who started around the same time that I did, who's saying to me, Cherie, I'm having the best year. I'm having a great year. I love being a loan officer. And he could have been lying to me with regard to his numbers, but I don't think so. I don't think he has a reason to. And it was just seeing the differences in these conversations, the differences in um, what all of us are doing. The three of us are doing things differently, right? And the results that we're getting. And I'm kind of in the middle of these two men with regards to my results and the things that I'm doing. And that just got me to thinking of mental health and how sometimes you can push yourself and try, and some of you have expressed that you have a career that you're trying to get into, or you're trying to get promoted or things like that, and it feels like you're hitting the glass ceiling. It feels like you can't get ahead, etc. And that can be really tough. That could be really it can have a great toll on you mentally. And how do we handle that? How do we, know that we have been this other loan officer that's not doing so well? He's like, I could have gone and been a bartender and made more money than I've made this past year. And some of you feel like that. You feel like you are putting in applications and the job market is not as good as you would like it to be, and things like that. And then other people seem to be doing well. And how do you actually get your head back in the game mentally? Mental health is so tough. Or maybe you're in a job and people are bullying you. The workplace is toxic. It's not a good environment, but you're stuck there for whatever reason. How do you handle that? I don't know if any of you follow Dr. Shauna Etienne. I hope I'm saying her name right. She is the psychologist in New York. She does a lot of mental health discussions, and she was sharing that her son was viciously attacked. And I didn't hear the entire initial broadcast. I just heard about 10 minutes of the update, with regards to her son. Sometimes it's not your job. Sometimes it's not your money. Sometimes it's an illness. Sometimes it's something else that's happening in our lives. And taking care of our physical health, even though it's not it's what do you call it? It's simple, but it's not easy. Taking care of your physical health, right? If you eat well and if you work out, as long as you have a baseline of physical health, meaning you don't have lupus or diabetes or something like that, you can pretty much regulate your physical health. But with our mental health, a lot of times there are different things that are just coming at us. And you all know that I've suffered through depression. Actually, right now I'm pretty good, but I've had those moments of depression, of feeling like I don't know if I'm going to make it. Sometimes wondering if I want to make it, right? And how do you get on the other side and to the other side of that? And I'm not saying that it's easy, and I'm not even saying that it's simple, but I am saying that oftentimes our mental health issues are coming about because we are not reaching a certain goal that we want to reach in life. January 1st, 2024, we said, hey, I'm going to hit XYZ goal. And today is April 12th, and maybe you're not there for whatever reason. You're not there. Okay. What can we do about that? Um, how can we actually take control of what is happening in our lives? And one of the things that I've heard, and then you all can let me know what you think as you all are coming in. One of the things that I've heard is that the only thing that we can control are our inputs, are the things that we're doing. And if we're doing the right things, eventually we should see the best results. Now, do I believe that's true? I don't know. I have to stress test that because sometimes it may not necessarily be true, right? But I do think that there needs to be a fence around our mental health. Um, I do believe that as much as possible, we should not be inviting drama into our lives. What's the inviting drama into our lives? Sometimes it's the men you're dating. Sometimes it's the friends you're hanging around. Sometimes it's the family members going to the cookouts and the outings and things like that. Are you inviting drama into your life? Number two is, if it's a career issue that you're having, are you sufficiently networked and networking with the right people that can get you to the goal that you are looking for? So, when I was talking to you earlier about the loan officer that wasn't doing very well, turns out that he had spent the first year and a half of business going out and networking with the wrong people, being around the people who could not get him business. And now he has, over the past few months, shifted that and things are getting better for him. So, my question to you is, if it's a career issue that you're having, if your money is not right, if your business is not going well, the mental health issue could be that you're not having the results that you're looking for. Therefore, you need to look at your inputs. You need to look at the things that you're doing. If your job sucks, are you spending time talking about Fresh and Fit and the pregnant Asian girlfriend? Yes, I do know about that. I have been cyber watching from the clouds, right? Are we talking about OJ being dead? That has nothing to do with us. And people going back and forth about RIP OJ and FOJ and all of that? Or are we getting ourselves together in the right headspace to say, you know what? And I had this conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago. He was saying, I'm not going to hit my goals for 2024. And I said, why not? And he said, well, because, XYZ is happening. And I said, well, why don't we look at it this way? You need to finish putting some things together, foundation wise. It's going to take you a couple of months to do that. Why not say I can still hit my goals from July to December 2024? Part of our mental health discussion is, are we giving up too quickly? Are we giving up too quickly? Are we not surrounding ourselves with the right people? Are we allowing people in to mess up our peace and our peaceful environment and our peacefulness, who don't need to be there? Who don't need to be there. And I'm talking about mental health outside of like any kind of hormonal imbalance or things like that. If it's a hormonal imbalance or, anything like that, please go see a doctor. If you need to use your insurance in order to talk to a psychologist, please do that. Please do that. But a lot of us have drama in our lives that we are letting in, or we're letting people stay in our lives, you know, get access to us, have access to us, who should not be having access to us. So this is part of the mental health discussion that I wanted to talk about today. I want to talk about us also being distracted as well. And I'm going to say hello to everybody in here. And then we're going to talk about being distracted as well, because I think that's a big piece, not just mental health and not only mental health, but also of why we're not hitting our goals. It's, you know, a fourth of the year, 25% of the year is already gone. Are you on track to hit your goals? You said there were things you wanted to do in January. It's April 12th. If you are not where you need to be, there's still time to pivot. There's still time to change. Part of the mental health that I've been going through over the past few days is really figuring out, did I want to continue down the track that I was going with my loan officer job and position and business, or did I want to go a different direction? And I spoke with probably about 6 or 7 people, like honest discussions, longer discussions about this. And I came up to the realization that no, continue down the path. I just have to make a couple of tweaks. Have to make a couple of tweaks. But part of our mental health issues is that we are not doing the right activities or enough of the right activities in order to reach our goals. So let me say hello to everybody in here. Tiff is in the building. Flo Jersey is here saying good afternoon. Securely Me is saying, hey, y'all. Hey, just clocked out driving. Be listening. Always great info. And I feel like I'm not exactly saying the things like I wanted to say them this evening. I hope so. I hope that I'm being clear with regards to mental health really is just about getting the toxicity away from you. And some of that toxicity is people, some of the toxicity is things, some of the toxicity is where you live. If you live in an impoverished neighborhood, the first thing is to get out of that impoverished neighborhood, move someplace else. If you don't have money to do that, then it's time for you to improve your skills. Dr. Dix is saying that for everybody, every industry, AI is going to affect you and your job within 2 to 3 years. He said that on Diamond Dave's um, a discussion he just had with Diamond Dave. Are we ready for that, or is the mental health and the anxiety with regards to our jobs, are they going to be enhanced and heightened because we are not ready? We ain't ready. We ain't ready. So, um, Flo Jersey saying, I agree, prioritizing mental health is very important. It is. Malika is in the building. Alondo is saying, salute. My world is saying, hey, y'all. Glad to see someone discussing this. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so important. I think it's so important for us to discuss mental health because it's such a huge issue. And the way that upwardly mobile Black women handle mental health has to be different in a lot of ways than other people because we are Black, we are women, we are upwardly mobile. We have different things that we go through than other people. And we may not necessarily have the resources and we may not necessarily have the backing and the support that other women of other groups have or that the men have versus us. Right? Alonzo is saying, how can I help my wife, an upperly mobile Black woman, keep her mental health, including me? Sorry for the distraction. So look, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. I think the first thing is to honor your wife, talk to her, ask her, let her vent. She may not even need you to solve a problem, but just letting her vent. Um, Doing nice things for her, making sure that you are not the problem, Alonzo. You know, uh, if there are things that she's asking you to do them, or figure out how they can be done. Are there things that she's taking on that maybe you could take on her behalf. One of the biggest things that I believe is that a peaceful home helps with a lot of mental health. A peaceful home, number one, and a peaceful work scenario, number two. Because if you have those two things and your money is okay, a lot of the mental health issues, either we don't have them or it's like a hormonal issue, which, then she has to go to the doctor, right? So, number one is, how peaceful is your home? Do you make your home peaceful? Is it is a place that she wants to come home to and rest and relax and she has respite, or she has to come in and do a whole lot of chores and, cooking and cleaning and things like that. And if your wife likes to clean, great. But does she have to clean? Sorry, if your wife likes to cook, great. But does she have to cook, and does she have to do the dishes as well? Things like that is these are some of the things that I would encourage you to think about. And not only think about, ask her. There's a guy that I heard, I can't remember who it was, but he said that he asked his wife every single week. I think it's like Sundays they have their date night. And he asked his wife every single week, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good am I as a husband, is what he said. Something like that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good am I as a husband? And if his wife doesn't say 10, he asks her, what can I do to be a 10? That's a good one. So if you ask her that, and give her a chance to think about it the first couple of times, but overall, she'll tell you what she needs. She'll tell you what she's looking for. She'll tell you what it takes for you to be a 10 as a husband, and for the house to be a peaceful place. And then as long as her work is cool, you know, and the money is cool in the house. And if it's not, if the money is an issue, as long as, I mean, you and your wife have been married a long time, is my understanding. As long as there's some plan to get it to where it needs to be, people just need to see that the plan is in action. So I hope that helped. And you're saying, thanks so much. It makes sense. Yes, you're welcome. What can I do to be a 10? Good one. Yeah, I forgot that guy said that a long time ago. And I like that, especially coming from men to women, because I think that women take on a lot in the households. So they tend to just do things and not really speak up as much. A lot of women don't. And that causes mental pressure on them. So yeah, Mentor Shelley is in the building. Hello, Mentor Shelley. Mentor Shelley, I don't know if you're able to make it on Sunday at 6 p.m. The reason I'm asking is because we are having our Rich AF discussion Sunday at 6 p.m. Mentor Shelley, I don't know if you can make it. Part of what Vivian says in um, her podcast that I want to play is the fact that she talks about, you need to be getting a 10 to 15% raise every couple of years, or else you're not doing your life and your money correctly. So if you're going to be there on Sunday, April 14th at 6 p.m., Mentor Shelley, then I would love to bring you on the panel to discuss that. And you're saying you'll be there. Great, great. Absolutely. Everybody, if you want to be a part of the Rich AF discussion, got to be on my email list, bwmakingmoney.com, bwmakingmoney.com, in order to get the Zoom link for that. So, and Malika's saying good question as well. About the being a 10. And you can put that with your boss as well. Like, hey, I want to be a 10 in this job. What does it take? Also, I want to do well so that I can get those promotable tasks, whatever the promotable tasks are in your company, right? Thinking from a mental health, like, okay, this if you have a company that's truly a toxic environment, then figuring out how you can leave that toxic environment. Who do you need to know? Y'all know I love my multicultural networks. What additional technical skills do you need, etc.? And sometimes when you just start working on your plan, when you develop your plan and you start working on it, the mental health, Like you're so focused on that thing that your mental health, um, it's not maybe completely healed, but it does kind of, you're not focused on it as much. But yeah, look, your career, maybe you need to start looking for someplace else to work. Even in this tough job market, the reason that I mentioned the two loan officers, one of them not doing so well right now, the other one doing very well. And then there's myself that's kind of in the middle, and all three of us started at the same time. And all three of us are working ourselves and working our systems differently. All three of us are also all in different companies that have different positives and negatives. So, if you are looking for a new job so that you can get out of a bad, toxic work environment, you may look at the economy and say the economy is crap right now. People are being laid off, et cetera, et cetera. Or you can look at the economy and say, hey, Google just, I think they tried to recruit people from Microsoft AI division, or it was ChatGPT AI division. It was one of those. And they were offering them $1 million a piece for the engineers. And you may say, Cherie, I'm not an engineer. Yeah, but you have skills. And if you don't have skills, you better have them. You have skills that people are going to want. The right people are going to want you. So you could either look at the economy and say, hey, the economy is total crap right now. Nobody's hiring. Or you could say, you know what? I have skills, whatever skills that I need to get, I'm going to get, and I'm going to get those multicultural networks. I said this before, you all need to be networking at least once a month, preferably at the same um, meetup group or something like that, Chamber of Commerce, your local association for whatever industry you're in. If something happened to you today and you needed to make a move, are there 25 people in your phone that you could call to say, hey, I need a new job? Do you have 25 people who could say, hey, no problem, I got you, send your resume over, I'm going to put you to the top of the pile, and I'm going to get you in front of the hiring manager? If you don't have that, you are missing out. You're missing out. If I wanted to be a loan officer at another company, I could snap my fingers really quickly and get moved right over. We have to have those kinds of networks. That is part of the mental health discussion. Is in your career, are you struggling because you are not in a good position? You're not in a good position to actually win. In order to win, you got to have those technical skills, those soft skills, those multicultural networks, and the resources to be able to make a move. So put a one in the chat if anybody wants to come up and have a discussion about this. Put a one in the chat if anyone wants to come and have a discussion about this. I think that mental health for upwardly mobile Black women is so important for us. And I want to hear what you all have to say this evening with regards to this topic as well. So Rana is saying that she wants to come up. So I'm going to put the link in the chat for people who want to come up. And Securely Me is saying this is so needed. I had breakdowns at my last corporate job because from being outcasted and bullied, but stayed longer because of money. You most likely had to stay longer because of money because you didn't have a network to make a move from one place to the other. And yes, the economy and things are going to happen in such a way that your network, especially as DEI starts getting nixed, and being a Black woman, I think is going to go from being a plus to being a minus. And I have gone through that ad nauseum on this channel. Um, it's going to be it's going to be more important than ever for you, in order to keep your money up, for you to have these multicultural networks. Rana is in the building. I'll get to you in a second. Um, Black American Television News and Information saying I have a master's degree in public relations and I can't get a job. I do know people and I still don't get hired. Can you talk to those individuals and ask them why you're not getting hired? What are the skills that you need? What are the things that you need? Doing more informational interviews with regards to that. What are you trying to do? Um, is it something that is in an industry that is still hiring people or not? You know, um, especially when you're talking about public relations. So, Rana, welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Afternoon. I haven't talked to you in so long. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. School is doing great as well. So, I'm just relaxing right now. And after this, I have to do my homework. But,
Ah,
um,
homework.
yeah. So, with the topic on hand with mental health, I think it's very important as Black women to focus on our mental health, especially when you're attending colleges, because,
Mhm.
it can really break you. Even like you hear some stories. I don't know if anyone is parents in the chat. If you watch certain documentaries, some news documentaries where a lot of young students are killed in dorms or kill
I'm
themselves
watching
in
that.
dorms.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's been going on even during decades ago. During my time, that's been going on. Um, but during my time, what they have call these services. They're student services, but they also have, if you want to talk to someone for like any psychological problems or mental health problems, they have some services for you to go there at the university. So I think
Hmm.
that's very important. And then even post, university, and you start going to the workforce, sometimes there are jobs that offers you to talk to someone regarding mental health, um or if you don't want to do it, you can just look at your insurance. But
Hmm.
that's just like some of my experiences. And now, I think in order to upperly mobile or level up, I think the most important thing is mental health. And once you work with your mental health or whatever trauma that you have, then I think that Black women will be more successful in that regard.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So many people can tell when your mental health is not like up to where it should be, and whether it is in the student world, like in education, or in the corporate world, if it happens over a long period of time, sometimes that can hurt us. Sometimes that can work against us as well. So, doing things when we recognize that we are not happy, when our mental health is suffering, to kind of figure out, okay, do I need to go and talk to somebody? Do I need to go and talk to a counselor? Do I need medication? Do I need to start working out? It could be, because a lot of times working out, whether it's doing yoga or running or things like that, can kind of clear your head. Do I need to be off social media? Do I need to stop posting pictures on the gram because people are coming at me? All of those things are important as well. And it's important. It's as important for us to take care of our mental health as our financial health, which is why on this channel I don't just talk about money. I talk about everything because it all matters. And sometimes your money is not good because your mental health is not good. You know, um, so so yeah. I mean, this is absolutely important, and there are a lot more. I don't know if there's more, but it seems like it. There's more things happening at colleges now. There's a lot of safety risk at colleges now. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree with you with that. With safety risks, there's a lot compared to, I would say, decades ago, like about
Hmm.
10 years ago, my time,
Hmm.
compared to now when I attend college. I would say, like, for instance, I would used to go to the library.
Mhm.
at 4 a.m. and nothing will happen to me.
Nothing. Now
Nothing.
you can't.
Now you can't. Nowadays it's like they literally close at 7 o'clock. So, and they have two armed security guards as well. So that's what I realized. And now that they have armed security guards around campus.
Mhm.
So I think because of the mass shootings that's going on within the decades up to now,
Mhm.
is the reason why that has been occurring. And soon it's going to be more than that. Um, I think it's just going to be even more risk and everything.
I agree.
And yes, and that's just how I see it. But I agree with you. Like, it's important to get your networks and skills. Because I don't know if you've seen this, but I received like an email regarding, like, this is PWI regarding Duke University that started to suspend black scholarships, like
Mhm.
scholarships for black people.
Mhm.
And, in my opinion, the ones who's going to be hit hard the most are those who are in poverty or below the poverty line, because they won't be able got a chance to get into those private institutions to basically live up, particularly black women. So I think I remember you said it's going to get worse. This is just the
Mhm.
beginning of it. This is just the beginning. And from what I see right now is that I have to get in my networks. Even though I don't know how to network, I'm just going to have to try and get in some networks or contact some professors, later in the future.
Well, sooner rather than later. So
Mm-hmm.
it's best to get started as quickly as possible, and that way they can see your journey. So that way,
Mm-hmm.
it's a couple of years from now, they say, okay, I've been following Rana for a couple of years now. I know she's legit. I know, look, yeah, people are not going to like what I'm about to say, but I'm going to tell you what they're thinking. Is Rana going to get in there and embarrass me?
Mm.
So, yes. So if they follow you for
Wow.
a couple of years, I'm trying to tell y'all the truth, right? These are things that people don't want to
So,
tell you, but it's
right.
the truth. It's
I
it
have a,
because of
oh,
your age, because of your youth. I don't know. I don't know like what your real name is, or you've told me a little bit about your background, or things like that.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody is like, is this person going to get in? If I give this corporation, this company, if I say Rana is a great person, is Rana going to
Mm-hmm.
get in there and embarrass me? That's the number one fear that people have. So that's the reason why most people
Mm.
will not refer people in.
I see. I
Yes.
see. So how I know.
Oh, or Tam is right. I'm sorry. Hold on. Tam is right. And first of all, hey Tam, saying let's get it. Hello. Tam is saying, or is she going to leave at the first sign of pressure?
Oh
Or
God.
is she going to not know how to handle that pressure? Or did she tell me she has these skills, and yet when it comes time for her to perform, she can't perform? They're looking at all of these things before people put their name and their credibility on you.
Mm.
So go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. Hey, Victoria, Credit Solutionist in the building. Hello. Go ahead, Rana.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how would I embarrass the person who referred me, but now, like, I noticed, like, some people mention it as an
Mm-hmm.
example. So
Mm-hmm.
wow, I didn't know that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I will never know. Okay. Yeah.
Which is why I tell you your networks, and it's better for you to go to the same meetup or the same association meeting every single month. If their meeting
Hmm.
is the third Thursday of every month at 6 p.m., you be there the third Thursday of every month at 6 p.m. and let the same people see you over and over and over again, because
Okay.
that is how people get more trust in you. Like, oh, hey, she's dependable. Yeah, I've spoken to her. Yeah, I'm connected with her on LinkedIn. We're gonna need you to get a LinkedIn, Rana, as well. I know you're hesitant,
Okay.
but you're gonna need a
Yeah, I'm
LinkedIn.
a bit
you know
hesitant. Yeah, because
but
of, yeah.
but that is where professionals network. that is where recruiters find you. So, please get a LinkedIn. Um, and you go every single month, you can post positive things, you can post professional things, you can post things you're learning in classes, things like that. People, and you think nobody's paying attention, right? You think
Right.
nobody's watching you, nobody's paying attention until all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden, 2.5 years down the road, somebody comes to you and taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, are you still doing that thing you talked about 2 years ago?" And you say, "Yes." And they say, "Oh, I got an opportunity over here. These people need a job. You want me to tell them about you? I know the CEO, I know the
Oh.
hiring manager."
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you're not going for likes and comments and things like that. The real people who have the real power, they're never gonna like, most likely, never gonna like your postings, never gonna like your videos, anything like that, but they're watching you.
Mm. I
They're
see.
watching you. So
Okay.
and people remember consistency, not names. This is true. So it basically
Okay.
takes them about 3 to 6 times of seeing you at the same meeting over and over again before they even halfway will remember your name, because you've said it by that time. And a lot of these people that go to these meetings over and over again, they see people come and go all the time. So once you're somebody that they see all the time, then they will remember your name. So the way that I encourage people to network is to find one or two organizations, no more than two. And whenever they have either, like at our chamber, they have a coffee and connections. That's in the morning once a month. And then they have a happy hour every Thursday. I go twice a month. The same guy runs it in the afternoons. Um, you may join a committee that meets once a month, but whatever it is, say, okay, this is the consistent place I'm going to be every single month without fail. Um, and that's how you network. That's how you network. It's not rocket science, but it does take consistency. It takes as much consistency as going to the gym.
Okay. It does come up like I know this is gonna sound really silly, but it does come
Mhm.
off of rocket science, so I don't know what to say. Yeah. So that's fine.
So I will be fair to you and say that um, it may feel like rocket science, but it's more so fear. Most likely you're fearful because you feel like you don't know what to say when you get in there, or you're fearful because you're scared that people are going to turn their backs on you and say, "Rana, you little, I don't know what, but get out of here. I'm too good for you." Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I assure you that 99.9% of the time that's not going to happen. Will you get the 0.01% of people, or 0.1% of people that'll be snooty? Yeah, of course. But I assure you the chances of that happening are very rare. And I network a lot. They're very rare.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm gonna go back down to the audience and yeah.
Okay.
All
And
right.
Tam is up here as well. Hey Tam.
How are you?
I am good. I've been cloud watching you, talking about Linux and all of that stuff. I wanted, first of all, read Victoria's comments here. Credit Solution is saying, "I had an emotional reaction to not getting an upper management job once. I knew in my gut that I messed up and proved why I wasn't ready. I swiftly exited that job after 7 years with the company." She's also saying, "I find that keeping to yourself is off putting too." This is true. So please be wise about keeping to yourself too much. You're on a team, even if you work remote. 100. Is that is the truth. If you work remote, you really do need to be extra intentional with regards to, if you're having a team meeting or something like that, being on camera, put your makeup on, put your wig on, or, get your hair done, whatever it is, and like show up to the meeting early, talk to people, set up one-to-ones with people, quick check-ins, etc. Otherwise, you don't get those promotable tasks and you don't get promoted, and nobody knows who you are. So, Tam, what's up?
What's going on? How you doing?
Doing well. What you got for us today?
So I want to get a flip side of that, right? We
Okay.
there's a ownership on the people that actually come to events or that they're trying to network with, but there's also another side of that, right? The
Mm-hmm.
people that are hosting the events.
Mm-hmm.
There's an ownership there on them to also make sure people are also engaging. And when you're walking in rooms where people have not been, there's an ownership there as well too. So I don't want to put all the ownership on people as they come into rooms. I want people to be better hosts who are hosting the event. So I think on the flip side of that, having better engagement in events for
Mm-hmm.
people who are actually hosting those events. Not necessarily you could put name tags on people, but you can have engagement games, you can have engagement talks, things that cause people like one of the things we do is, maybe it's 30 people in the room and we count 1 through 5, and all the ones get together, all the twos get together, all the threes get together, or whatever the case may be, and then we switch, and then we say instead of all the ones getting together, we'll say the ones and the threes get together. Now it's a bigger crowd, and now we're all having to try to kind of focus in on, like, okay, it's new people coming into the group. How would I, in the spur of the moment, get people to engage with me? How can I find out about them and so forth? So it can be a little daunting, but I think also to people who are hosting the events as well too, have to consider how to keep people engaged and how to bring people out of their shells, not too far out, but enough where they're comfortable to also engage in the room as well too. So I wanted to add that.
Yeah, I think that that's important as people are thinking, if people in here are thinking about being hosts, but also thinking, if the person is attending the event, going up to the host and, even
Mhm.
engaging with them, saying, "Hey, is there somebody I should know here? This is what I do. This is the people I'm interested in meeting tonight. Who should I uh, who should I know in here?" And don't let them just point you across the room and say, "Go to talk to that person."
Yeah,
Can you bring
introduce.
me, yeah, can you introduce me? Can you, walk me over and introduce me? Because not everybody necessarily knows how to host either,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So just doing little things like that to kind of engage with the organizer. And the organizers, pretty much all organizers want people to come, everybody who's coming to the event, to feel great that they attended.
Correct.
So you can set yourself up and put yourself in position where they'll be like, "Oh, great! Tam came. I connected her with Victoria. They're talking. Score, like,
Mhm.
great, yeah, great
Mhm.
conversation, great meeting that they had, or great, etc." So yeah, I think it's important for the organizer as well as us as the participants to mutually come together in order to make sure that each one of us is getting what we need.
Right. And then another thing to do before you go to the event is
Hmm.
find out who's coming to the event
Hmm.
and look them up on LinkedIn or any
Hmm.
social media to see what they're doing. To see if you may not even want to link up with them. They may not even have the same, things that you find comfortable to talk about or what have
Hmm.
you when meeting up with them, so you can do some I guess pre-research before you get there, because it's still an event where you're actually engaging and talking to folks. So just wanted to
Yeah.
get that little side of going to an event that people can do as well, but making sure that the host themselves is also um, setting it up where people can also engage in the event as well. So I
Yeah.
think that's the part that gets missed out, because some people just host, and that's another thing too. Is some people just host and they have no type of engagement. They're just there. They're social butterflies. They're not really introducing people to people. They don't have things that. So now you can determine whether or not you want to go back to their event.
Hmm.
Right. So
That's
that
true.
was it.
That's true. So I will give the practicum with regards to what Tam just said, because people may say, "Well, how do I see who's going to be there?" If it is a conference, then you're always looking at, and I've done this before in one of our other sessions. You're looking at the speakers or the panelists. You're looking at the vendors that are going to be there. You're looking at the sponsors, and you're looking at the organizers. Sometimes you'll get a participant list, the attendees that are going to be there. Sometimes you won't. But those four groups of people will always be there. And if you're going to a conference, you want to have at least two people that you absolutely want to talk to, and you know what you want from that interaction with the person, even if it is just set up a Zoom meeting in order to have a further discussion with with that individual. So if it's a meetup, the organizers are usually there, as well as the attendees, at least the people who have RSVP'd. Sometimes you're able to, see their name and then see their LinkedIn or something like that. If it's an industry event in your local area, you're able to see who those individuals are. So I like to give practical ways for people to actually take this information and use it. Um, and then sometimes you are able to, again, if you have connections with the organizer, say, "Hey, I'm coming. It's my first time coming." Like, email them. "It's my first time coming. Just wondering, this is who I am. This is who I'm looking to meet. Just wondering if there's somebody that is coming that that I should look out for." So that I, can be sure to meet that person. And you may get a name or two from that
Hmm.
organizer, and then you can do your research on the front end as well.
Yeah. So
So,
I'm gonna add to what you just said.
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Here's the one thing: an organizer of an event uh, is gladly to point someone in the right direction. The fact that you're coming to the event and you
Hmm.
email them, that means the world, because they're hosting the event. And if only one person shows up, they're fine with that. But if nobody shows up,
Hmm.
that's the issue. So the fact that you emailed the person signifies that the word got out, and people are excited about that. But even more so, the fact they'll be more than happy to introduce you to the proper people in the room, or say, "Hey, I don't really know for sure, but this is who I think you should talk to," and
Hmm.
then maybe that person has a slew of other people that they could connect you with as well too.
Absolutely. So I'll give you all another trick as well. Do it reverse. Let's say that there's a person that you want to meet. You can go to their Twitter, their LinkedIn, and their Facebook, whatever they post on, and they may say, let's just say it for anybody right now. They may say, "Hey, I'm going to be at XYZ event tomorrow. I'm going to be speaking there, whatever," right? You can basically say, "Hey, that's a VIP person that's on my top 10 list that I absolutely want to meet in my industry. This is a mover, this is a shaker, this is a person who can open doors for me." We're not talking about Tony Robbins or any huge person. I'm just talking about whatever person who is a couple of steps above you in your industry. You can basically say, "Okay, that person's going to be speaking next week at XYZ event," right? You buy a ticket, you get there early before the person is going to speak. You talk to them before they speak, and you say, "The reason I am at this event is because you posted it on LinkedIn, and you are the person that I wanted to meet. I came to this event specifically to meet you." That person will be putty in your hand. Then you can say, "Okay, look, I know you're about to speak now, but I would love to have a Zoom meeting with you or a follow up or something like that." how can we connect? Sometimes these people have assistants. You have to get on the calendar through the assistant, et cetera, et cetera. I am telling you, that trick right there, that trick could make you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars that I just told you. That is how you get to meet people. Go ahead, Tam.
Oh, I was gonna say always sit in the front.
Always sit in the front. Have your notebook or your note-taking device. Sometimes a phone is kind of tough because people don't know if you're taking notes or if you're like looking at social media. So I like a physical notebook for taking notes. That's just me. But yeah, sit at the front, take notes. If they say, "Do you have any questions?" Ask a question.
And that's why I say sitting in the front helps that, because if they
Mhm.
see you in the front, they'll be like, oh, okay, that person in the front has a question. Can you get that person a microphone, or can you go
Mhm.
to the microphone? The focus is now on you. So now your question that you have, this your moment,
Mhm.
can get asked and then answered. So I always like when I go to conferences, and in particular for Black women and Black people in general,
Mhm.
when I know we're speaking, I sit in the front so that that I'm there not only to show support, but to show you that you don't have to look across the landscape and not see all everybody else. I'm here with you. I'm rocking
Right.
with you. That's just my thing, because I just know it a lot of time at the conferences and stuff like that. We just don't see us.
Mhm.
So it'd be cool just to see one of us in the front. You'd be like, yes, at least I got one.
Representation.
Yes, at least I
Yes.
got one. She hear me. She hear me. She see me. That's it.
So Victoria's saying Tam is right because sometimes even the host is socially awkward. I've seen this before. I'm talkative is 50% nature, 50% survival. You are talkative, Victoria. Yes, you are. But yeah, you're right. Sometimes the host was like put on the spot to be the host. They don't really know how to host. So you being able to kind of help them in a way, no host wants to host a bad event is basically what I'm trying to say. So you could help them and get what you want. Mentor Shelley is saying these are awesome networking gems, ladies. Yes, they are. Look, I try to give you practical, simple things that you're able to do with networking because the truth is the right network, let's say in the next 6 to 12 months, 24 months, depending on who you are, could get you another $20 to $40,000 a year in salary. The right network, if you leverage Tam and the things she teaches in Women in Linux, if you want to be in the tech space, could get you a $200 to $300,000 salary. The right network, if you're in business, could make you millions of dollars a year. So I try to give you practical things you're able to do with networking, in order to be successful. Um, so go ahead, Tam.
So, my last little bit is
Mm-hmm.
when you before you go to an event, is write down the top three things that you can provide help to that event or to a person, right? So always leading with, and this is just something I've been focusing on a lot lately, is how can you be the solution to someone else's problem?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that comes with knowing what your strengths are. Maybe the top three, top five strengths that you have, but going in and offering being a solution to somebody else's problem, meaning you're gaining maybe some contract work, or you may be gaining a customer, or maybe you may gain helping someone solve a problem, and you set up some type of deal where you maybe make $1,000 off the deal, or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case may be. But now when people think of you, this is why I say consistency. People remember consistency is not names.
Mm-hmm.
If you're consistently leading with I am the solution, people are gonna call you, whether you can help them solve their problem directly, or maybe you know someone in your network that can help solve that problem.
Yeah.
And so you can then leverage that and say, well, I'm gonna introduce this person to somebody, and then you can leverage that and still write up a contract and get paid off of that on the back end. So it's
Right.
just always thinking with the mindset of how can I be the solution to a problem when I'm walking into a situation. Just my,
Absolutely.
just my
So
thoughts.
I'm gonna throw a cherry on top of that. So Tam, ask me the famous question, what do you do? Ask that to me and I'm gonna respond.
Should I say Sherry or Cherie?
Yeah, Cherie.
Cherie, it's nice to meet you today. But I couldn't help but notice I saw you talking to other people. But what do you do for a living?
You know what I'm known for? I'm known for blank. Okay, so let's take a step back. Tam said to write down the three things that you can help people do. But what can get you to where you're going may be different than what you do for work. And bring up Victoria here.
Okay,
Um,
I'm gonna add to
so
that.
so well, let me finish really quickly.
Okay.
So what I want you to focus on responding to people, and I'm going to say networking may require practice for you as well. Some of us need to practice the things that we're going to say. But if you say, I'm known for, that may be different than what you do, and what you're known for, like what you do for a job, right? What you're known for, the solution that you provide may be the thing that can catapult you in that person's eyes. So I wanted to give that to you as Tam was talking. I was like, here's how you flip it, especially if you're trying to change careers or you're trying to get a promotable task or something like that. That's how you answer that question. Go on, Tam.
Oh, what I wanted to say was, what are your top three strengths? Like, so
Hmm.
it's not necessarily it's not necessarily what you do. It's more or less like what are your strong suits,
Hmm.
and play to your strong suits when you're in those in a meeting or when you're networking with people. Like you may be very good at saying, okay, well, this person said they needed this, but really what they need is this over here. And probably directing them in a way they had never even thought about before. So I, I want to. It's a little different. It's just I don't want to leave it like, oh, what do you do day to day with your skill sets? I want to pull it back and say like maybe you're very good at analyzing a situation and breaking it down to the smallest minute uh thing and help them get there, or you can look at big systems or big problems and saying, hey, these are the things that you need. But I like what you said, but I just want to get that caveat.
Yeah, I think both of we're saying similar things. So I would say to the person, I'm really known for taking big systems and you know, um, big software solution issues and getting them fixed in lightning speed or something like that. Um, so yeah. So, but we're saying similar things,
Correct.
definitely saying similar things. But people usually don't ask you, like, what problems do you solve? People usually ask you, what do you do? So, I want you to do an in run with regards to answering that question.
Unless you live in DC and they say, what do you do for a living and what do you work at?
Which look, I do, right? I live in Hartford County now, but I used to live in DC, and that's all they would ask you is what you do.
What do you
So,
do? That's the
mhm.
first. That's the number one
That's
thing.
the
What do
first.
you
That's the
do?
number one
That's
question
the
that
number
they
one
ask.
question. What do you
Mhm,
do for a living and what do
mhm,
you work at? That
mhm,
like that's the first thing they do.
mhm. You saying we bold?
Listen, girl, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
I just say, hey,
Yes.
everybody. Hey, Tam. Hey, Cherie.
How you doing?
Hey.
Yeah, so, all right, well, I got to start off, and I'm not socially engineering you, Tam, but you're the Linux lady, right? That wears the purple lipstick.
Correct.
Girl, I went to Sephora and I got a color, and you were the first person that came to mind when I saw the purple. I just wanted to say that.
That's all good.
I promise I'm not using my networking skills, but I swear when I was in there, I was like, this is what Tam be wearing. Okay, I swear. And I wore it a few times this week, and guess what? Everybody's eyes
was on you. Correct.
Girl. So I was like, okay, there's something to this, because even though I wanted to kind of mention that, and then I'll kind of back up. I'm sorry, I don't mean to like barge in here, but I'm like, even something as simple as that. Let's say you're an introvert and you walk into a room. Tam and her purple lipstick, if you maybe aren't that kind of person, but you're a little shy, you need to do a statement piece of some sort. You need to, because that's, in my opinion, I got an alarm going off here, y'all. I'm sorry. But to me, like, there's little ways that we have to work the system. If we're not good at walking up to people, sometimes you have to have something that will speak to other people. And it may not be verbal. It may not be your accolades. It could be as simple as having an awesome blazer, an awesome shade of lipstick, or a certain hairstyle. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I can add to that. I give you my own experiences on that. When I walk in the room in any conference or whatnot, most people know me for two things: lipstick and earrings. Right? So they'll say, today you got on pink, or today you got on green, or today you got on purple. And it doesn't matter the race, it doesn't matter the gender. It can be anybody. They're going to it automatically, because here goes back to what I was saying before. The consistency is the lipstick and the earrings, and they remember that, and they associate that with me, which means they also associate that with what I do as well too, because they have gotten a chance to know who I am. So it's all a package deal. When in that. So now they're like, oh yeah, you know Tamika, the one with the lipstick and the earrings, that do the Linux, and I know her. So it all kind of runs together. So if they don't remember my name, they remember, if you want to look at it, they remember the brand in which I have presented to them, but in an indirect way. But at the same time, they know what I saw, the problems that I saw.
And see how I connected your purple lipstick with you being the Linux lady? You and I have never spoken, but I've seen you on the internet 1,000 gazillion times over the years, right? And when the live first came on, I said, I wonder if that's the Tam with the purple lipstick. Let me hop on here and confirm, because I wasn't sure. So what you just said, you're connecting the dots, and I hope like whoever's listening is cluing into that, because I recognize, like, especially in the last few months, sometimes y'all don't pressure yourself with your personality. If you're socially awkward, it's okay. Like I said, get yourself a statement piece. And like Tam said, it's the consistency. It's like, I'm sure there's somebody in the internets, if they look at my face, I could say all day that I do XYZ over here, but they may say, oh, that's that one girl. I thought she called herself the credit solutionist. Wait a minute now, you know?
That's the credit lady. Is what they say. That's the credit lady.
Right. And it's like, they'll associate me with something. So I was just going to say, like, when you, I wrote down a couple points, but I just wanted to point that out. Like, even in me coming on and telling Tam, hey, I know who you are, I'm literally showing y'all, it's like I literally connected her skill, but with something that was physical. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's possible.
Can I just do one thing really quickly? Just a public service announcement to everybody. We're having our Rich AF discussion on Sunday. This coming Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be on Zoom. It will not be on YouTube. So if you want an invite, you got to be on my email list, bwmakingmoney.com. bwmakingmoney.com. Just want to make sure everybody knows we're talking about being rich AF on Sunday. I did want to really quickly just say with regards to statement pieces. So Tam has her earrings and her lipstick. I've seen people do flowers in their hair, like all the time. I've seen people wear brooches, like real statement pieces, right? There was this one guy who was, I think it was a marketing guy or something like that. And he used to wear a lab coat to every networking event. And he called himself the doctor of marketing, right? And it seems like kind of gimmicky, But these things do actually work. So Cherie, personally, I have magnetic name tags with my name on it and what I do. And I just have my first name and it says real estate loans, I think is what it says on there, or loans for real estate investors. I have two actually. So like, and it's this big green magnetic, um, magnetic name tag. I paid $10 for it.
Wait, can
So
we see it? Do you have it?
I can go in the other room and get it if you
Girl,
want to
could
see
you,
it.
could you? Because I feel like
Yeah.
people need visuals sometimes.
Okay. All right. Well, you two talk and
I love
I'm going to be right back.
Cool. So Victoria, when you wore that lipstick, or did you wear it yet?
Oh no, girl, I've worn it and I've tried different shades because like yours, okay, I used to be like a makeup artist or whatever, I'll be talking about that a lot. But I noticed yours is like a purple with a little hint of blue in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried it with like a more blue hue, then I tried it with more like on the pinky side.
Mm-hmm.
The pinky side seems to get a little more results because the bluish doesn't really hit the way I want it to.
Mm-hmm.
And I wore it as a social experiment to test it out. So
Mm-hmm.
people kind of like it when I make it a little more, I don't want to say rosy, but like a little warmer. They like it warmer.
Okay.
They do. Yeah. Because I think it picks up on like yellow or orange or something in my skin.
Yeah, on the skin tone.
Yeah.
Skin tone dependent. So now when you wore it, what kind of results from a networking standpoint did you get?
Oh boy. Okay. So the number one thing, and you can tell I smile a lot. Okay. So my focal point is my hair and my lips, right? It's like makeup, everything else is whatever, right? But it's like the lip and the hair for me, because I colored it specifically for that reason too. Because I'm very like in tune with certain things like that. But what I've noticed is no matter what walk of life a person is from, it's always, oh my God, I noticed your smile, or oh my God, that lipstick. Oh my God, And it's like, and it opens up because it makes both people feel a sense of comfort because they've already given you a compliment. So they're showing you that they're trying to open the door and they're just basically waiting for you to step in. So it's almost like a come to me kind of thing. Like, okay, I see you with a compliment, right? They're telling me that they see me. And then for me, it's an opening to say, give them a compliment, but then it's also an opening. Well, what are you here for? Like, what are you into? Let's talk about it. Because they already think like, because the way I see it, like if I saw you with the purple lipstick or you see me with maybe my afro, the lipstick or whatever, you already know that I am somewhat of an open person because of the fact that I'm wearing something that's a statement piece or a statement. I'm accentuating a feature. So on a natural level, it's telling you to come to me, right? It's inviting. That's what I should say. It's inviting. So you're already comfortable, like on this weird level that you don't even know you're comfortable with. And I have that with other people too. So I know there's some science here, but that's what I noticed. And it opens up the door because they already feel like they can converse with me. That's when I get a little more comfortable because I'm not very formal when I meet people unless it's like really stoic, then I recognize it. But for the most part, I'm hey, what do you do for a living? Let's talk. Like, tell me what you do. Where's your card? Did you come here with a card?
It disarms them.
Yes. And it's like, and you can see when it happens. And Cherie and Tam, I know you've both had this happen before where you could tell somebody's tense, but when you start talking to them, they just relax. Right? Like I can't explain it, but you could just sense it and you're like, all right, let's talk. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk.
The armor is down when the ego is deflated. And now we're humanly connecting to each other to have a discussion. And it may not lead to anything and it may lead to something, but whatever it is, it's just what it is.
Right. Yeah.
So I brought the name tags. I'm going to put myself, I think, on big. Yeah, here, just so people can see it. So this is one of the name tags here. Loans for real estate investors, and maybe make that big like that so you all can see that. And then my second name tag here, and I keep it in my purse, so I always have it on me, just mortgage loan officer, right? A little less descript. You could even have one that just says Cherie Warwick, badass woman, or something like that. Like if you really want people laughing, you can do stuff like that. I also, this is for my old business. This is the book that I wrote. So for a lot of people, like this is like a real legitimate book. People have called me 2, 3 years later. I still have your book from XYZ time. Now I want to hire you. So obviously, if it's best for somebody who is, you know, you have your own business or something like that. But these are little things that you're able to do in order to really stand out. Like I said, great statement pieces can be lipstick, earrings, but it could also be, I've known people, I knew this one woman once, she always wore pink. Now she wore different shades of pink, but she always wore pink. Her name was Cynthia De Lorenzi. And, you know, everybody in town knew her because she always wore pink. So there are so many things that you're able to do to develop a personal brand for yourself where people will know you for that thing. So it doesn't have to be expensive.
I had a question for you, Cherie, and Tam, because I tried something that I thought was a little corny once, but I did not necessarily a power pose before I went into a room with some people, but I had a self-talk in the mirror because I knew I was in the bathroom by myself.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? Like giving yourself a pep talk or doing a power pose in the stall of a ladies' restroom before you go and work the room, so to speak?
I think whatever you need in order to get in the zone. Tony Robbins calls it, what is it? It's like getting in state is what he calls it. But like getting in the zone, getting in state is what you do. So for me, I will listen sometimes to a motivational speech or something like that as I'm driving to the networking event. And that kind of gets me in state. That takes me out of the hustle and bustle of being an LO or loan officer and into the networking vibe and scene. Sometimes people just need a good song, um, or sometimes people just need breathing exercises, etc. But yeah, I would get myself in state to not just go into network, but to be a light. Like I want people to be attracted to me and to my energy. And that does, like, you can't go in being frazzled like that, no matter what's happening. So,
Yeah.
Tam?
Yeah, I give myself a pep talk, but not necessarily in the mirror. Maybe I'll go back and look at what I want to say, and then I may go look at some previous videos that I have done
Mm-hmm.
before I get in there. But here's the thing: I always want, whenever I talk, I always want to leave with people having a plan of action. So, with that being said, I'm always looking for maybe something to motivate people to act in
Mm-hmm.
the beginning, and then also motivate people to act in the end with what I state, and then go from there. So I'm always looking for a plan of action or presenting a plan of action in when I'm talking, because what I have noticed is that people get lost in the middle, but they remember the beginning and they remember the end.
That's true.
Okay.
And I
I'm
want to
writing
say
that down.
hey to Mocha Mommy saying, Amen. I pep talk myself in the car before I go to work sometime. I think this is a great tip. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was saying before, Mocha Mommy, that some people go into toxic work environments. And it was actually one of the things that I had started with was a lot of our mental health issues come about because we either have toxic work environments or we have toxic home environments.
Mhm.
And some a lot of times these things are preventable with regards to, keeping certain people away from you, keeping your distance. If you are stuck in a job that you hate, then networking, your technical skills, your soft skills, your networking, and your resources, the four things I'm always telling you to have, is going to be key to you being able to move to a new environment. So, okay, so I have to take the dogs out. My mother needs
Oh
my help.
no.
I know. But I will give you ladies a couple of minutes to say any final words. I'm so sorry, but my mother, as I went to get the name tag, she's like, the dogs need to go out. So I have doggy mommy duty right now. Uh, Tam, you have anything you want to say? Any final words?
Yeah. So final words is always understand what your strengths are.
Mhm.
Always focus on elevating the ones that you think that are the I call them the ones and the twos, right? Ranking your skills, and then always put yourself in a position to be able to network to those strengths. So that strength for me, give an example, would be earrings and purple, right? That's a strength for me that I know someone is going to remember. So I use that to my advantage. So if I'm in the room, if they don't remember my name, they remember earrings and the color purple, and then they can pick up the name and whatever else is associated with me afterwards, which is fine for me. But again, it's all about how you market yourself when you're in these rooms, and also being the solution as well too. So it's twofold. That was it.
Perfect. Vic?
Girl, I'm gonna be short-winded, but yes. So y'all already saw it in the flesh. I literally pointed out what I saw in Tam. Never met her a day in my life, but the two things that she said. First thing I said when I came on camera. So definitely work on that. If you're not talkative, use a statement piece. Be comfortable. Be confident in it. You're doing that little bit extra that not everybody will do, so you will automatically stand out, and people will be drawn to you. Get comfortable with that. So I just have three things. Power poses work and self-talk works, right? So that's that. Get with it, right? Reflect on what people have observed in you, because whether you know it or not, those are your strengths. Because how you see you is not how the world may see you. You got to be okay with that, because your strengths to you may not be your strengths that others see. They may see something else that you didn't know. So kind of be perceptive to that. And the last thing, be perceptive and be open. When you go to a networking event, when you go, like how I'm jumping online just randomly, I look a hot mess. And I ain't gonna tell you, but I took my bra off when I got home. So I'm
Girl, you look
comfortable.
fabulous to me. I don't know what you're
Girl,
talking
and you
about.
know, look, I'm your messy friend. So yeah, I took my bra off.
And
Okay.
you got
But look,
Team Awesome Sauce on the. I was looking at it all. Yes. You going live later on tonight?
no, girl. But I saw you on and I was like, oh, she's letting people on. Let me hop on. Let me just, because girl, I was about to wipe all of this off. But listen. So yeah, that was my last thing. Be perceptive, be open. Just remember, when you go to a meetup, everybody is there for the same reason you are. I don't care if it's a VP or a director or whoever you think has something you want. Guess what? They're there to get something too. So you are all on a level playing field. Meetups, networking events, conferences. Convince yourself it's a level playing field, because that's what it is. They paid money to be there. So did you.
Yep.
Level playing field. All right. Keep that in mind, because I remind myself of that every day. So that's what I got for y'all.
Perfect. And first name, last name is here saying, hey, ladies, love the content. Well, we love you back. So I want to say one final thing. It is network, not net sit, not net eat, not net stand, stand on the wall and don't say anything to anybody, not net silent, but network. Always be on from the time you pull into the parking lot, because people are paying attention to you, even though you think they aren't. If you roll in playing Sexy Red and you think people aren't paying attention to that, I know my upwardly mobile Black women aren't. I'm talking to any of the lurkers that are out there. Okay. You roll in playing Sexy Red, the music is blasting in the parking lot. People are paying attention to you. So you are on from the minute you roll into the parking lot. As you are rolling through the lobby, As you're going up the elevator, you don't know who you're going up the elevator with, ladies. As you are networking with people, you never know who you're talking to. All the way to the time you go back in the elevator, go back down, go back to your car, and you keep and you go home, right? You are working and you are on during all of that. So oh, Tam is right. Wash your cars and keep them clean inside. Yes, there will be people who look inside your car, and if it's junky in there, they think that
I
it
I
does
am one of them. I
it
am
does
one of
reflect.
them. I
Yeah.
am one of them. I don't care, man or woman. If I see your car dirty and I look inside your car and your car is not clean on this, I am one of them.
Yeah.
I am one.
Now Victoria has the pollen thing. We're talking past pollen here. Some
Girl, every
people still,
morning
girl,
Pollen
some
is
people,
forgiven.
no. It's not the pollen. It's
I'll
more
be
so
hot.
like you have the mud from the snow 2 months ago still on your car.
I
Like,
feel you.
no, it's time for spring cleaning. Run it through the car wash. Put the vacuum in there. At least put the stuff in the trunk. Uh,
Victoria, I'm talking about the Chick-fil-A receipt and the cup and
yeah.
the Starbucks that you was like, oh, I need to take that in the house, but it's laying in the car seat, and then
I'm
the
gonna need y'all to
actual
stop because
the
I don't know
drizzle
who's
from that,
watching. I
the
ain't gonna tell on
drizzle from
myself.
that, the drizzle from the Starbucks cup, the sprinkles off the donut that you ate that's in the car seat. That's what I'm talking about. That gotta
I ain't
stop.
gonna say nothing. You put me on blast with a couple of them descriptions, ma'am. I'm gonna reevaluate my life. I'm gonna wash my car this weekend, y'all.
Oh,
But you're
Just
clean
right.
it
You're
out,
right.
girl.
at least
Clean it
get the
out.
You're right.
inside. I have
Yeah, you're right.
respect for the outside being dirty. I have no respect for the inside being dirty. That you get in it every
Yeah.
single day.
Because you're in that. You're right. You're sitting in it. So that it reflects your state of mind, Tam. So high five on that. I get what you're saying.
Mhm.
You're right.
Even
High
Mocha
five.
Mommy is like, my car is a hot mess too. Long commute girlies have a mobile mess. Mocha Mommy, we're gonna have to get you straightened out too.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
gonna have to
Okay.
get you
Second.
straightened
No,
out.
this is the second time talking about car washes has come up today in less than
Oh,
12 hours. So I take it as a sign. I don't question that. I will wash my car tomorrow, ladies. Thank you very much.
you are welcome. And
You're
Mentor
welcome.
Shelley is going to be our final comment. Network. The work is involved, ladies. The work is involved. So,
Yep.
this was such a great conversation that I'm probably going to split this out and just have the networking portion as its own video for people so that more women are able to hear this part of our conversation. But, ladies, I want to thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see everybody on Sunday. Take
All right
care.
now.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Bye.